Hello, Dylan here, and welcome to my top 5 horror anime list. Now, this one was harder than I thought because I was picking ones that might not have that horror tag, but still felt like they should have it, and then narrowing it down to just 5, and figuring out which one is, better, and it's a bit challenging for me. Let's start off with some of the others that I thought of, but didn't make the top 5. Let's start off with these runner-ups, or honorary mentions: Angels of Death, Blood Sea, Hellsing/Hellsing Ultimate, High School of the Dead, Parasite the Maxim, Tokyo Ghoul. I know some of you are gonna hate me for not picking a few of those, but I have my reasons. Now let's get on to the main list. Number 5, Yu-Gi-Oh! Season 0. Just let me read the summary before you judge me. Yugi was a boy who was constantly bullied until one day he managed to put together an ancient and mysterious puzzle no one has been able to solve for 200 years. Now, when Yugi's friends are threatened, a strange transformation occurs, and Yugi seems to become an entirely different person. This transformed Yugi is a master of games, and uses those spontaneously invented games to trap and punish the bad guys. At the end of each game, his opponents appears to suffer a painful death, but it is soon revealed that this was all in their minds. Or was it? Okay, the main reason this is on here is because, as someone who grew up with the original Yu-Gi-Oh! Anime, finding this before messed me up when I watched it. Because it took that nostalgia and twisted it in this Saw-like version. Like the Saw movies. If you never looked it up before, you should. Also, it was made by Toei Animation. A little fun fact there. On to number 4, Shiki. Quick summary. Encased by trees that are used to make grave markers, Totoba is a village thought to be surrounded by death, a fact that soon literally became the case. One summer, a series of mysteriously and untimely fatalities begins to plague the small rural town with a higher than normal mortality rate for the time of the year, and each cause of passing remaining unknown. Toshio, the local doctor, and Saishin, the temple's vice chief monk, became suspicious, take it upon themselves to investigate. However, as the deaths began to pile up, more people began to wonder just what is behind this sudden epidemic. Could it have anything to do with the bizarre Kirishiki family that recently moved to the village? What I really love about this anime is that it goes back to what vampires were always meant to be, aka creepy as fuck. The first half of this anime is so suspenseful and creepy that it just fits this perfectly. On to number 3. Number 3, a classic one. Quick summary for those that have never watched another. 26 years ago, something terrible happened in a middle school's third-year classroom. A popular talented student named Misaki suddenly died, and the ramifications of that incident have caused each third-year class since then to live in fear. It is now 1998, and Koichi Sakakibara has just transferred into the notorious classroom. Curious about the mysterious secret that his peers are hiding from him, he's drawn to one enigmatic girl named Mei Misaki, a quiet student who wears an eye patch and warns him about getting involved with her. Continues to seek her out against the pleas of his classmates, and that's when people begin to violently die. Honestly, despite all the runner-ups I gave, it would have been a crime if I talked about horror anime and didn't include this classic one. The atmosphere alone makes the anime creepy enough to keep you on edge. On to number 2, Higurashi When They Cry, the original anime series. Quick summary: Maibara Keiichi, an ordinary high school boy, has transferred to a new school in Hinamizawa, a small rural village. At the outset, everything seems peaceful, and Keiichi becomes friends with a nice group of schoolgirls with whom he spends many idle summer afternoons. Suddenly, violence encroaches upon the blissful peace of the village, and Keiichi becomes entangled in an endless cycle of fear and death. The inconsistent but inevitable horrors of Hinamizawa are told and retold, becoming an endless and inescapable nightmare of insanity. Will it end even if the mystery of Hinamizawa is solved? This goddamn anime is so fucking creepy. From the atmosphere with the Higurashi buzzing to the art style itself constantly giving me feelings of unease. This anime is just perfect horror experience, even if it isn't the number one on this list. And speaking of that, on to number one. Serial Experiments Lane. Quick summary for those that have never watched it. I have only abandoned my body. I still live here. Are the words emailed to friends of Chisa several days after her death by suicide. As Lane delves deeper into the world of the Wired, also known as the Internet, the line between it and reality becomes more and more unclear. Close the world, open the next. Okay. While Higurashi gives you that constant unease, Serial Experiments Lane gave me unease after I finished it. And nothing says horror better than making you scared and creeped out even after you finished watching it. Lane gives you a lasting impression versus Higurashi. It doesn't even have a tag for horror, but it might as well be there. There you go. Those were my top 5 horror anime. If you have any that you think should have been up here besides the runner-ups that I mentioned earlier, or if you've watched any of these, then comment below. Subscribe and that bell to be notified of my future videos. Leave a like if you enjoyed, and I hope to see you next time. See ya.